Enrique Buenaventura, what a great name that is. You are on the venture of life and you have adventured into the world of paddle and making business out of it. In your own words, Enrique, who are you?
Hello, good morning. In my own words, who I am? Well, I'm a passionate of sport, a big passionate of sport, and I've been working in sport for many years, and lately in paddle. No, working obviously enjoying also sports for many years, all kind of sports, football, tennis, paddle, skiing, all kind of sports, and motorsport, which is one of my passions, and the thing I've been working for the last 15 years, I would say.
One of the things that I've been observing and sort of as I've gotten deeper into these conversations with people who are involved in paddle, there's a joy of paddle, there's a joy to the game. But when it becomes your business, when you're a professional, there's a lot more hard work involved. And I'm wondering to what extent you've managed to keep the joy in your paddle.
Yeah, so absolutely right. No, so I've been playing paddle since I was 12. So in Spain, as you know, it's been big for more than 30 years. So which is when I started. No, I was a tennis player and I moved to paddle, and I've been I would not say at any point a professional, but I was a good amateur. No, so
Uh,
especially until I was 20, I was competing. I was competing in all the under 18, 16, 14 categories, top 10 always more or less. But I was doing many other sports. So I've been playing a lot. Then I moved to the UK many years ago, and many years ago, paddle was nothing in the UK. So I moved back to tennis, to my younger habits, and I moved back to tennis until I would say 5 6 years ago that you start having a few paddle courts here. I moved back to paddle again. It was fantastic with some old Spanish friends who are living also here in London. And when I saw that paddle was growing all over the world is when I started thinking I need to do something. I need to do something related, some business in paddle. No, and so far I'm enjoying both the playing and the being involved in the business also.
yeah, there is something like being a pioneer these days. Even though paddle's been around since 1969, the feeling is in terms of the buzz, the promotion, the money that's being put into it, we're still in the pioneering phase.
Absolutely. So I remember in Spain, although it's been huge for many years, the big money and the professional side of it hasn't. It's been only, I would say, the last 10 years big. And suddenly when it become more international is when everyone is crazy to see how they get into the business pie, no? Which it's good in certain ways, but also it's, I presume it's tough, or I can see the nervous around the ones that have been around for many years. No, how to see how everyone is without, most of them without no clue of paddle, willing to jump in and take some stake of it. No, so as you said, early stages, and a lot of interest. Which it's very exciting, but also yeah, challenging, I presume.
I want to make a parallel with companies who sort of jumped in on the internet early and then 20 years later find themselves being disrupted. It's not because you've been around since the beginning that you actually know how to do paddle in the new world. We've got so many new habits. The consumer is very fickle. Where do we
Mhm.
want to do it? And the game itself is changing. Where did you start then? Where were you playing as a 12-year-old?
So I was living in Madrid. I was born in Madrid and lived in Madrid my whole life until I moved here to London like 11, 12 years ago. And I was playing in my tennis club. So in Majadahonda, in Club Internacional, the tennis. It was a big club in padel also. So I remember those days we had the best players in Spain, and so Alberto Piñón, Semprún, Almazán, all these players, the first Spanish champions, and the first ones to compete against the Argentinians, and they were coming from that club. No, so by me seeing this, I immediately switched to padel and started playing all the tournaments and things there. So I started playing there. Playing all the national tournaments, regional tournaments, but it was more for fun, no? Because at that time, padel was not, you could not see a professional path or anything similar. No? So it was more for fun. And with my tennis colleagues, no, that most of them were also moving or were living in both sides, no, between tennis and padel. So very similar to what we are seeing here in the UK, tennis players moving to padel, but obviously now they can see that there is an opportunity there in the professional area, while 35 years ago, you didn't see that. No, it was more to compete, but in a fun way. No. So yeah, that's how I started, and I continued, no, until forever. No, when you start padel, you cannot leave it.
It's an addictive sport. The obviously we now have more competitions in the UK, but the level really still hasn't gotten up. For you, Enrique, over the 30 years that you've been playing, how do you describe the change in the game itself?
So it's very different. No, I remember when we started playing the El Pico. So the corner of when the wall faces the
net.
And then the net, it was very typical. No, so when you were training how to smash to the corner. No, because now that has disappeared. It was a lot more tactical. You couldn't smash by three. So that doesn't exist because the net was higher.
Plus, we were playing with rackets look like this, right? Wow.
Exactly. Actually, I still have my first rackets were not wooden, but still were not
the Zorba. Like, was it the Zorba? I'm thinking the Zorba.
I played with the Sola Belgique of Gattaker. So I still have that one, a beautiful racket.
Robbie Gattaker.
Exactly. So I started playing with that one, and a few years later, you started with the new modern ones. No, so it was more tactics, more passing the ball, putting it into the correct place, and it was not as much as today's, which is strength. No, it's strength. So the one who can really smash it from everywhere has a huge advantage. No, so that has changed a lot in that sense. It creates a lot of spectacle going out of the court and things like that. It's nice to see, but I still prefer the old version. Me personally, also even. Especially playing, because I'm not a big guy, so I'm more tactical than a hard smasher. But even watching it, I like long points and more tactical. You can still see that, no, in those courts that are not very fast. You can still see that kind of game.
I might say that's what I observed about the Hexagon Cup. I want to get into that. And I think that just to finish on that part is that the wonderful thing about paddle, for most of us, we are not pros playing the men's professional game. So, I mean, and even the women's, they have power, but they still not popping it out all the time. So most of us are going to be able to enjoy the more old-fashioned paddle, where you have to be tactical, be smart, construct points, because most of us aren't popping the ball out. If you're 25 and you're a tennis player, maybe good for you. But for the rest of us, you're more mortal and enjoying another game. So I want to talk about Hexagon Cup because it was a phenomenal success from my vantage point. Let's start with, why did you decide to found the Hexagon Cup? What was the initial impetus for all that?
Yeah, so as I said before, I've been working in motorsport for the last 15 years. No, I was in Formula One for a couple of years, and then we founded Formula E. That has been a success. We've been organizing events for the last 10 years around the world. But padel still is my passion as a player. No, so when I saw that padel was growing outside Spain, and there was a lot of international appetite, and there were a lot of tournaments already happening, very good ones like World Padel Tour, Premier, just popping up, and so on. I thought there's something missing there, which is an international teams event. So obviously you have the World Cup, which is great, but at the end it's always Spain against Argentina in the finals.
That's
And
for
I can
sure.
see that's for sure, and it's going to be like that for a few years, I think.
I think so too.
But so you could see a lot of appetite to play. No, the masses playing all around the world, but the following, so the media part was missing. Why? Because it's very difficult to follow. So in the UK, everyone starting to play, but who are you going to follow in the World Padel Tour and now in Premier? It's only Spanish and Argentinian, so it's very difficult to get that national connection. The same, the World Cup, they won't watch it because, again, it's all about the final between Spain and Argentina. So I thought we need to do something international where a UK team can compete to win against a US team or a Middle East team to win like an international event. No, how can we do that? And then it was very easy, the link, no, because it's what we do in Formula E, or it's what happens in Formula One. So it's a teams competition when in Ferrari, which is an Italian team, you have currently a French and a Spanish driver. No, so that way, so if we do a teams competition where in the UK, as it happened this year, you can have the best players in the world, you can have Dineno, you can have Delphi, and they played in that team, and they win, then the UK will say they will want to watch that, and they will start following those players. They will start following Dineno, they will start following Delphi, and then they will start watching Premier to follow those players in the UK team. Mm-hmm. So it was a way to facilitate and to improve Padel all around in the media side. No, it was something they always ask me, but are you really going to compete against Premier? Not at all. Actually, I think we are going to help them. We are going to benefit them to grow the fan base outside Spain, outside those countries, which is already big. No, so we started with that idea, and then it was whether we do it by clubs, whether we do it. But then we saw that there's a lot of celebrities that they love Padel. A lot of them, and we know a few of them from Formula E and so on. And by talking to a few of them, we say, I would love to have a team. And why not? Because it's happening a lot. No, it's happening in sports that celebrities or even other sports people are owning IP, are owning teams in the pickleball. It happens in women's football in the US. It's happening in Formula One. It's happening all around now, of celebrities owning teams. So that was the perfect match. No, so let's put celebrities representing different regions in the world, owning teams with a number of players, the best players. They need to be the best players in the world, and let's put them all together into a huge event of 5 days in the capital of Padel, which is currently Madrid. No, so that was the idea around it. It came like a couple of years ago, a year and a half ago, a couple of years ago, and obviously I still work at Formula E, so I put a good team in Madrid, especially in Madrid, a few others here in London, together, people linked to Padel for many years,
including our mutual friend Rafa Vega.
Yeah, Rafa, fantastic. Rafa is a good friend, and who worked with us also during the event. So we put a very nice team together. Very nice team. People that love Padel. So they were not there for the business. They were there for the sport. And to make something, leave some legacy there, and also return to Padel what Padel has given most of us, no, in that team, in the Hexagon team, no, so we've been enjoying the sport for many years, and it was a good opportunity to give something back, no, and all of us to enjoy from it and make others enjoy. So that's how it was born.
Right. So you sort of went from what I was thinking was a Liverpool, Rome, Real Madrid type teams, right? Where in a Liverpool or Real Madrid, you'll have the best players from the world, but the people from the city appreciated it, to celebrities who are sort of symptomatic or emblematic of a country like Lewandowski.
Exactly. Exactly. That was a little bit the idea, no? And it could be celebrities, it could be a businessman, it could be anyone that can really have a passion for the sport and can help promoting padel in that country, using the team and using Hexagon as the excuse, no, as the core of that, no. So we managed to get 6 teams in the first year, very good one. So we have the Rafa Nadal Academy, obviously representing a bit is Spain with Rafa Nadal, but Rafa is not so involved in it, but it's his sister, so Maribel Nadal, who is the one, she's the marketing and commercial manager of the Rafa Nadal Academy. And she loves obviously tennis, but also padel. And they are doing a lot of padel. They are promoting padel a lot. Padel is becoming big in the academy, in the Rafa Nadal Academy, and they thought it was a fantastic opportunity to promote padel within the academy. And actually, they announced last week that I went to Madrid that they are going to do a tour, an amateur tour in Spain. So the Rafa Nadal Academy padel tour. With 7 events in Spain. So this was something that suddenly it brought many ideas from them, and it proves that it helps, no, in promoting padel in the amateur world with the name of Rafa. And so a fantastic team. Then we have the one here in the UK, Advantage, which was a few business guys that I know them well, fantastic people. They love padel, and they were very close to Andy Murray, so they put a team together. So the Advantage team with Andy Murray as one of the investors in the team. I spoke to Andy before that. Obviously, he has already some investments around padel. He loves the sport, and it's great. No, so they won the first event. We are going to do now in Hurlingham Club. We are going to do a little event with.
Yep, I've heard about that.
Promoting. So we are going to join them. We are going to play some exhibition games there, and showing the first trophy to bring it to the UK grounds. No. Then we have Robert Lewandowski, as you said. So he loves the sport. Obviously now he's competing still in football, and he actually said, "Look, I cannot play. They don't allow me to play. But in the moment I retire." Yeah. Exactly. In the moment I retire, I want to be. So think, how can I join the team? So put another category, a celebrity category or an amateur category, because I want to play, because he loves it. And he wants to promote it in Poland, but also in Germany, in Spain. He wants to do things around padel. Then in Puerto Rico, we have one team. It's Carlos Lopez La, is a businessman. He loves padel. He's in between Spain, the US, and Puerto Rico, and he wants to develop padel in Puerto Rico. And he put a lot of celebrities around that team. They came to Madrid to the event, and there were a lot of them with the Puerto Rican flags, and it was amazing. What else we have? We have Eva Longoria. So Eva Longoria, the 11-11 team. From the US, and the same. So it is Eva Longoria with her husband, Pepe Baston, and Dani Omedes. Dani Omedes is an old friend. We were competing against each other when we were under 18. He's from Barcelona, but we've seen each other in the national padel tournaments 30 years ago. And he's one of the owners of the team, together with Eva and Pepe. They came to Madrid. Eva was in Madrid, promoting and Imagine. So that was huge, no? For the
big on Instagram.
Big on Instagram. She has more than 10 million followers. She did an interview in the CNN during the event, explaining what was padel, what was the Hexagon Cup, what was the team. So again, that kind of things are fantastic, no? Because
I definitely wanted her on my podcast as well, but didn't manage to raise her attention. So
she loved it.
But the format was interesting as well, because the selection, you have the franchise player, then you have the up and coming player. So you have this interesting mix and women and men. So tell us about how you landed on this different category. So obviously there's a new one for Robert in due time.
Exactly. So obviously we wanted the best players, and we wanted not just the best players, but the best future players. So we came with this idea of having 6 players per team. That's why we call it the Hexagon, no? The 6 players per each team. So it's the best male players, female players, and next generation of players, which is players that are above 50 in the ranking and less than 20 years old. So yeah, the future champions, no. So it's something that we
male and male.
So we are going to switch. So the first year was male. This year will be female. So in 2025 will be female. The following year will be male. So we will be switching. So we want inclusivity as much as possible. So we have the male, the female in the team with the same points, the same prize money, and then we have the next gen that we will be alternating every year. No, the male and female. And the way we did it is, instead of letting the teams, okay, you hire your players, you pay them. No. Let's control it centrally. So let's make it in a way that everyone is able to win. So let's make it very fair. So what we did is every team selected 2 captains, to the franchise players that we call it, 1 male and one female, and that was done naturally. So each of them, they spoke to their players. Some of them they knew already. Some of the players, we did some recommendations, and all the teams came with 2 franchise players. And then we did a draft, like the ones they do in the NBA or other, especially in the US sports. We did a draft one day. So each team, the ranking of the 2 franchise players, depending on the ranking, they were selecting the other players. So the best ranking of the 2, they select the last. So the lower ranking, they select the first. So that way, they were selecting all the different players, and that's how you become with the 6 players. So first they selected the male, then the female, and then the 2 next year. No? And depending on the ranking of the different players, you were selecting first or last in the next round. No? So that's how all the teams selected. All the pairs were different, so most of them. So I think there's only 1 or 2 exceptions at that time, which was Alejandra with Tamara, that now they are playing together, but at that time they were not.
That's
and
true.
Now they end up playing together. And I think the other one was Bella with Capra, although Bella was injured, and then Chingoto played. So again, it was a different one. So very, very different pairs, very, very, very equal, which was fantastic to see. And we saw that during the tournament. So we had a super tie instead of third set. Most of the games were decided in the super tie, and even the finals. So there were all of them going to the super tie, which was amazing. No, it made the tournament very, very equal since day one. And the beauty of that also is, since day one, you could see Arturo Cuello playing against Tapia. So you could see big games from day one. So every single day there were huge games.
And from a spectator standpoint, someone who's deeply involved and loves watching, it was really great to see different pairs, because at some level, for those of us who are starved for professional play, you end up, when you did the World Padel Tour and now the FIP, you get to the semifinals, it's generally always the same couples battling off against one another. And of course, it's interesting because we're in the weeds. We're checking out how Tapia's adjusting to playing against Dineno or one of them, blah, blah, blah. But it was really refreshing to have these new pairings and then these new names that we're not hearing about, because typically we're absorbed in World Padel Tour, or, as it was anyway. So that was really fun. And the other thing I was really interested in was the selection of the mat, of the flooring. So it's dark, but what about how much of a discussion was there on, let's not make it too fast?
A lot, and a lot of mixed feelings, as you can imagine. Some people were saying, let's do a big spectacle, fast, everyone going out of the court. At the end, we said, look, it has to be as equal as possible, and if you put a slower turf, it will level everyone, and the points at the end will be longer, and people will enjoy it, and people will really enjoy it. And also, I think the team's competition is very different. It's very different, and people become very passionate about it, and we saw that. No? So we saw the female watching the male game and giving advice, and then the other way around. So you create a lot of team, no, and passion. And And if you put a court where the points are longer, everyone gets more excited with it and gets more into the game. No, and it worked really well. It worked really, really well because both the male and the female games were amazing. Were really, really amazing. And
And the
people
next
were not.
gen, by the way, and the next gen
And the next
matches.
gen, oh, absolutely, absolutely. And people were not leaving the court. So we put a fantastic hospitality there, and during the game, which was one of my fears, is we put a very big hospitality. People may stay there, as you see in many occasions, but no, people were not leaving the season, and everyone was telling me, look, this was amazing. So it was my first time watching Padel live, and it was so engaging. We people were saying that they loved it. So it worked really well. It worked well, and also the super tie, it worked well. Obviously, it was pre-season. We know the fear we had also is that it was too much of an exhibition. So, and we wanted people to compete. No, so to compete, obviously bearing in mind that they were going to play Premier a few weeks after, so we didn't want them to destroy them. So that's why they only played one game a day and with the super tie. So it was maximum. It was a game of 1 hour and a half, and so maximum. So we were thinking always on the players. Actually, we think of it with them. So we took them on board since the beginning. We asked them how should we do it, how many games, the length. So it's something that we built together with them.
Just how did you do that? Because I mean, obviously you have the players president of the union when you're talking in the FIP, but you have all these different pros. I mean, were they represented by one, or did you have to sort of do case by case and build up the consensual approach?
Yeah, so we know most of the players between myself and a few other partners at Hexagon. We've been with some of my partners. They've been competing, no, in Padel, and we know a lot of the players. So we were talking with them as friends. No? So guys, we are going to build this. We have this idea of building this. What do you think? When should we do it? Also, we've been talking to FIB, we've been talking to Premier Padel, especially when they jumped in and they were controlling everything. So we say, guys, we are here. We don't want to compete against you. I think this is going to be fantastic. When shall we do it outside your calendar? So it doesn't clash. So it's been always very, very collaborative and thinking on the good for Padel, and not just okay, let's do something that we are going to take some stake from someone else. No, it's to add. No, that's our intention always. So all the players. No, so we are very close with Paquito and we are very close with Alejandra. So I forgot before, the sixth team, it's owned by the league, and it's the fans, the one who selected the players. So there was so the two captains were Paquito and Alejandra, but all the other players, instead of being themselves the ones choosing, we did in social media. We asked people who should be the partners, and there was a voting, and based on that voting, that was amazing. Juan Martin came up, and it was a fantastic pair there, Juan Martin and Paquito. So based on the voting from the fans, we did the sixth team. No? So also to involve somehow the fans
The public,
on the game. No? So with Paquito and Alejandra, we had a lot of conversations how to build it. No? And they were very super supportive since day one. But a lot of players, especially in a difficult moment, because there was a lot of uncertainty what was going to happen between World Padel Tour, Premier, exclusivities on players. Could they play this? Could they? And all of them would say, look, we love the project, we love the idea. We will support you, but please do it outside the season, so there's no conflict with what we are going to
on the calendar.
Exactly.
I'm sure that level of involvement, getting their creative juices involved and allowing them to have a voice in it, and then the interactions with the fans, that sounds like a really smart idea. I absolutely adore that. So we've had the successful 2024. It worked. You got 6 teams. You've announced already 2025. what does the future look like? Is it something where you're going to, do you feel like you're more likely to stick to the Hexagon Cup, one tournament in this format? Or is there going to be room for, let's do one in Miami or something else?
So for the moment, we always explain this as being like a Labor Cup, no? A Labor Cup of tennis or the Ryder Cup of golf. So it's a big one-off event a year. The thing is that obviously we have those 6 teams, very, very strong teams, and it's the same to be silent for the rest of the year. So we are planning, and this year we may do a few of them already. We are planning to do minor events.
Like Hurlingham, like the Hurlingham
Yeah,
Club.
the Hurlingham, but more our event. So the Hurlingham, we are joining something else, but we are planning to do more like Hexagon Padel shows. Like, and for example, you do one. The thing is that it's tricky to count with the pros, no? So because they have a very tough calendar, and actually, this is the conversations we are having with Premier. Okay, let's leave when they have to rest. Let's leave them to rest. Let's not put them the carrot of another one, and because they will be injured at the end of the year. So one with the pros where they really compete, and then we will do others. So for example, imagine in the UK. So we are planning to do one. We were planning to do one this year. Probably we will move it to next year, and we will do an advantage team, the Andy Murray team, against the Rafa Nadal Academy team, and we do a competition between both of them, where they select each team. They select locals. So they select local players, and maybe they select celebrities. So you have a mix of celebrities plus locals competing between themselves, and maybe you can add one or two of the pro players just to make it a more exciting. No, but and then you can do the same with the 6 teams. And we are planning to do one event in Puerto Rico in October, November, where the 6 teams will compete. But again, using more local players, not the professional players, to promote padel in that region. And growing that. So maybe you in Madrid you have an arena where you can put 10,000 people. Puerto Rico, that will never happen, no? Or even the UK today will never happen. But you can put 1,000, you can put 2,000. So you can start building the fan base by bringing those celebrities, bringing those teams, bringing the Hexagon thing, and the plan is to do that in many different regions, especially where we have the teams, but also in other locations where promoters are coming. I want to do one Hexagon event. And by the way, I was the promoter of World Padel Tour. I don't want to spend 3-4 million. This is perfect. Okay, let's spend a lot less. Let's start building it from the beginning together. Maybe we do it with 1,000 people, and in 2 years' time, it grows, and who knows, in 4 or 5, 6 years' time, if the fan base is big enough, we move the Madrid event to somewhere else. So we move it to UK, or we move it to France, and we move it to wherever it's ready.
Stockholm. What strikes me in the way you're approaching this, Enrique, is that you're bringing on not just a business angle, but an entertainment angle. You're really focused on the fan experience, the engagement with the fans, making it accessible, having the celebrities involved. It feels like a much more sort of juicy, fancier proposition than maybe the professional tour.
It's something that adds to the professional tour. So obviously the professional tour is and Premier is doing an amazing job there. So it's something that we still need to develop padel in many countries. No, so it will take time to have.
Even here in Britain, bloody hell.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's so young, the sport. No, so it's very difficult to have the correct fan base. No, so it will take some time. But for that, that's the tour. No, and they have the muscle, the strength to do that. No, the Premier QSI, they have the strength to do that. Our vision is to help to grow that fan base, no, to do something different, to do something more, as you were saying, more exciting, more mediatic, with those celebrities, that team competition, and where you have different pairs playing, and that will help to grow the fan base, and hopefully that will help to grow the fan base in those regions where Premier is playing. No, so and if Padel wins, everyone wins. No, so
Absolutely.
that's a little bit the plan, no, to make it different but professional. No, so obviously our goal here, so the event we did in Madrid, we try to do the best event ever, no? So hospitality, the best, the court, the best. We were trying to go to the excellence, because it's the way of doing things, no? So if you want to do one event, let's try to do a very, very good event, no? And that will continue to be the idea, no? So
the mantra.
you can. Exactly. You cannot do 10 of those, because you cannot. And actually, Premier, they have fantastic. So the one they did in Rome, it's amazing. The one they do in Roland Garros is amazing. Obviously, the ones they do in Spain, Madrid, Barcelona, they're amazing. No, it's tougher to do them in other countries where the fan base is still not there, but it will come. It will come with time. It will come. And obviously Madrid is a place where you can have 2, 3, or 4 events a year. So that's why also we selected Madrid, not to jeopardize the efforts of Premier or other competitions. And obviously we put them very separate, one of the other. Again, just to make things easier for everyone.
Well, I'm very much looking forward to continuing on that. I want to finish our little chat to talk about you and again your paddle tennis, because one of the things that I really always want to have is to have some sort of improvements and help people who are playing get better at playing and enjoying the sport. So in your game, you're now over 40 years old. You play in over 40 tournaments. You've got obviously a big background in the game. What's your favorite shot?
Oh, my favorite shot. I love la bandeja. The bandeja, the smash, the easy one. For me, it's my favorite one, because it's the one that keeps me in the game all the time, and I love
getting back to the net.
Exactly, I love to be in the net. I like to be in the net. So again, I'm not a very tall guy, so the bandeja is the one that facilitates me to be in the net every time, because if you put that one in a complicated position but you are not risking, you're always there. You always try to be there. I started playing in the left because I have a good
smash.
Yeah, like smash, like a tennis, a second serve tennis. But obviously now the people in the left, they smash it everywhere. So now I move to the right. So now in the right, I need to put the ball in, and the bandeja is very useful.
Very consistent. I'm sure you still have the opportunities every once in a while for a remate to pop it back. And what about a shot you're working on that you need to improve? I mean, you've seen so much involvement and change in the game. I would imagine you're also thinking about how to stay up with it.
Yeah, exactly. So the víbora now, the quick smash, which is a bit more faster than just the bandeja, is the one to improve. It's the one to improve, because it's the one that if you excel in that one, especially you take out a lot of people, a lot of the tennis players coming to Padel, that they are struggling still with the walls. That's the piece I need to take advantage. No, so I still play here with a lot of young tennis players, 20, 25, very good in volleying, but you need to put them back, and then when they are back, try to use the walls. It's the only way I can use a little bit the advantage of having been playing padel for many years.
And let's just talk in the weeds a second, because I play often on the right as well, given my age and everything. But when I hit the víbora, I one of the challenges I face is getting back enough to then move in to give it that weight and let the wrist go through it. So you're going to get some spin and some velocity on it. So that movement back there and then forward again, it takes a lot more legwork and energy and effort for me at my age. So what's the key for you? How do you see getting your víbora to work?
As you were saying, it's legs, no? It's legs. And for example, I have bad knees, so my knees are terrible. So I've been doing so much sport that now they are destroyed, no? So yeah, so if you don't have the legs, you need to have the position, no? To read a lot the game, to know when they are going to throw the lob, and then you are already back. So as you were saying, to move forward, no, and to hit it in the correct place. But yeah, when you are playing against tough opponents and they do things properly, it's more difficult, no, to be in the position. So you need to leave it and then return it after the wall, no? So legs and position. It's so people focus a lot on the hitting the ball, but at the end, the most important thing, once you have the shots, it's being in the correct position and having the legs to move back and forward.
When I watch Mike Yanguas play, I've had him on the show. His footwork is exceptional. When you start just zeroing in on the footwork and forget the other elements of it, the amount of split steps and the jumping and the ready at the net. I mean, a lot of the players are.
Yeah, absolutely. But then you see people like Juan Martin. Well, Juan Martin, he played in Hexagon and he played amazingly. So the games he played was amazing. For me, it's been my favorite player, and I loved to see him play in Hexagon, and actually to play one of his last, or probably his last professional match together with Paquito and then with Momo. It was beautiful. It was beautiful, and the way he moves, even though he has also bad knees now. We are more or less the same age, Juan Martin and myself. And to see that he cannot jump as he could before, but he still has the correct positions there, and he can still compete against the best players in the world. It's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, I mean, and you know, hat tip also to Bella for sticking around at his age, top 10. And you know, he doesn't have that big head and all that, but boy, does he know how to manage the ball. All right, what sort of animal are you on the court?
Oof, I don't know. I was quick. I was quite quick, and I jumped a lot. So, but that was at a different age. So, at that age, I probably more like a leopard or something like that. And now nothing similar. So, I would say more like a dog on the right. No, so trust. So the one in the left needs to trust me that I'm going to put the ball in.
A Labrador.
Exactly.
I love it.
Exactly.
And what about one last thing? We talk. This is the joy of paddle. What funny moment comes to mind? The funniest moment that you have on the court, or at least related to paddle?
I don't know. I had so inside the court. I don't know if I had many funny moments. There's one funny anecdote. It was not with me, but I was present. So it was more my father. So my father in the club, in the Club Internacional de Tenis, the one in Madrid I was mentioning before. This was back in the 90s. He was with a friend. So my father at that time, he was probably like 50s or something like that. And then they saw two guys coming, like two guys, like not looking very sportive. And my father told his friend, we want to play a game. Why don't we ask these two guys? Hey, guys, do you know how to play paddle? And the two guys say, well, we have some ideas of playing paddle. Do you want to play? Okay, let's play. So it was Christian Gutierrez and Christian Jensen, the two guys.
Oh my God.
Who just landed in Madrid from Argentina at that time. And obviously after three shots and say, okay.
I guess they know what they're doing.
Let's cross each other. And I was present at that time. And then with Christian Jensen, especially, we became really good friends. He was my coach for many years. And it was lovely to have him with his two sons, so his daughter and his son playing at Excel. No? So to have Enzo there and Claudia winning actually the Enzo the next gen was fantastic, and he was there 30 years after. So, but that was a funny anecdote, and it's amazing to see them still around and still being friends. So.
Yeah, so I guess the moral of the story is don't judge a book by the cover.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, listen, Enrique, it's been an absolute pleasure. Loved hearing about the weeds and the things going on at Hexagon. Congratulations so far. Looking forward to staying up. And where can people follow you, get involved, understand the Hexagon Cup? What links should people run to, please?
Yeah, no, I think people will love Hexagon. So anyone will love Hexagon because it's a really nice atmosphere. Actually, if you have the opportunity to go to Madrid, the atmosphere in Madrid was amazing. No, in the central court, but also in the fan zone, we put another court there. But the next year we're playing with concerts in the evenings. So it was a fantastic atmosphere, very different to what you see in the tour. So I will encourage people if they can't go go to Madrid, and if not, to watch it on TV, because there would be matches, very good matches, very different matches. And I always say the teams competition is very, very, very nice to watch. So
Yo lo
I
quiero.
hope people engage. Yeah.
Mi hermano vive en Madrid. So next 2025, what are the dates?
It's the first weekend of February, so it's from the 26th to the 2nd of February. So the Sunday is the 2nd. So
26th of January to the
Yes,
2nd of February. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, Enrique, muchas gracias. Vamos, Padel.
Vamos. Thank you very much. Thank you. That